Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome back to Black Rose Wars Rebirth. This is a video part 3. In part 1, we went over the kind of how to play the game, basis of it, what the game is, all that cool stuff. Part 2, we went over all of the different miniatures, these spells, the mages that task them, there's different spell schools, and all the fun stuff like that. In this last video, we are going to go over the quest cards, which are the brown ones. We're going to go over the event cards. And then we are also going to look at all of the different rooms, which are like a major component, the board that we play on. And then we'll finally look at the possessed, the avatar, the AI you can kind of fight against. That'll be the last thing for this video. So let's go ahead and hop into our rooms here. So just to start off, we're going to look at the very simple, quick cells. So each different colored mage has a different cell. This is kind of like their home area where they're kind of staying at in the lodge, which is the board that we're going to play on. Every time you're defeated, you go back here. You can't cast spells from here. Your only option is to leave. But while you're in there, you also can't be targeted. So basically, it works like if you get defeated, you get sent back here. No other effects can hit you. So someone can't like hit you for 10 damage or put a bunch of counters on you. Like when you only have 1 hit point left, one will hit you, you'll go away, and then they'll have to sit there and, target something else or the rest of their effect is wasted. So we just have one for each color. They each have a little bit different artwork on each of them. Kind of say they're sort of like destroyed rooms as well, because again, the lodge gets destroyed. On the other side, just a different picture if you just want to use more of a generic one instead of having a specific color. You can do that as well. We have a red one here. I'm just going to kind of fly through these a little bit because there's nothing extra special on them. They're just, the different areas you can go to. These don't get restored, which is the whole thing we're trying to do. Well, that's some really good artwork on them. And the white one. I think the back sides are the same for all 4 of them. Just the other side that's the same. So if you want to have, again, just generic ones. Alright, then we're going to look at our articular one, the Black Rose Room. So they're all destroyed. So on the bottom, just as a way how these work, so each one has a different area they can leave from. So they match up with another tile. So you can kind of see doorways on all 6 sides. The top is going to be the ability that you can use in there, plus whatever color it is. The little flags below them here will be the victory points you gain or the power points you gain if the rose when the room gets rebuilt. So whoever has the most or all of them will get 6, and then the next person will get 3, and then everyone else gets 1. And then at the bottom are your instability slots. So as you rebuild the room, you can drop instability tubes, you get to place them in those slots. So as the Black Rose Room says, a mage can discard 3 cards. If you do, draw 1. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit there. There we go. If you do draw 1 forgotten card, the Black Rose places 1 instability on 0. So what happens here basically is that you want to get over to here, discard some cards that have forgotten spells. Forgotten spells from like the previous video are very powerful, but the thing is there's only 1 copy of each. And then once if they ever get removed from the game, or like removed or ever, then they are like put back in the library or something like that. Then they're completely gone. So they're powerful, but they're not going to be around forever. And then the Black Room slowly trying to restore itself every time you do it. And it's not always put down cubes. So the more and more you do it, you're kind of giving power points to the room. And if we flip it over, we have the rebuilt side. So that's how it's pretty when it's all rebuilt. And then what's also fun is that every room has an activation token. So when they get flipped over, now they have a special token like this. Which will be on the one side, will have an ability, and then if they use it, it gets flipped over. So, of course, according to the rules, means when they're destroyed, the ability can be used over and over and over. The lodge is trying to like use these abilities as much as possible, because that's basically spending magic essentially it's like what's rebuilding the rooms. Because when they get rebuilt, they don't want you spending a lot because that's what destroyed them in the first place. That was the first game where you destroyed them all. And that's why these tokens are kind of like representative of that to like mix with the first game. If you mix with the original Black Rose Wars, because that's how they use the tokens for these. So that way, because you have built rooms, and then they have one-sided abilities. So this has the same, basically the same ability, but it says this time you get discard 3 to draw 2 forgotten cards, keep 1, discard the other. But now there's no other instability, but everyone just to use it less. Awesome. So let's hop into the next room. We're gonna kind of just jump through all these. So we're in the purple one. This is the other kind of like special room because it is purple, so it has a little coin, but also has the throne symbol. So this is the only other like I think like all of them are supposed to be included in every game, but you might play like some smaller dual games which have less rooms, but most games require you to also have a throne room as well. And there are cards that reference that symbol. So it says a mage may lose 1 power point. If you do, you get the crown. So if you want to get the crown, you do that, and there's all its instability slots. And if we flip it over, there it is rebuilt. And it gets activation token. Gets a crown and gets a rose as well, a power point. So rebuilding these rooms definitely has a advantage as well because it makes them all more powerful. Less restrictions, I guess. Then we have the pleasure room. So you have 3 rooms for each color. Mage draws 1 card from your library, or from your grimoire. So you just got to get one. Yeah, you know, it's just less instability tubes on this. So I do like that they're not the same. There are a lot of them have the same, but not every single room has the exact same amount. So it's not always like, oh, you always need 10 or you always need 4. They kind of change from room to room. So there's our pleasure room, which is basically a big giant pool. And it says here, so we have Mage draws 3 quests, discard 2 quests. So that's a fun one because it's completely different than the other one. The other one's when you draw a card, now you're getting to draw quests. So it's nice that they have some different effects. They're not just the same ones over and over. Like, oh, this is just a better version. Then we have the armory. A mage may draw 1 card from your library or your grimoire. So we get that. Here's all the busted up everything. Then we flip it back over. Now we have all the weapon racks ready to go. Shields, all that fun stuff. And then our activation spell is Mage may discard 1 of your revealed cards and place 1 from your hand in a slot ready. The rose gains a power point. So it's kind of a fun one too. So you can like, oh, I've already played a card. Now I can play another one, discard it and play another one instead. So you get to play an extra card during their turn, which could be very helpful. Alright, now we're going to jump to red. So in red we have the Alchemic Laboratory, which says, in an adjacent room, 1 room away, inflict 1 damage. So very simple. You do some extra damage there. Let me flip it over, nice pretty looking room. I love the art on these. Art's really cool, especially when you're designing all these rooms where basically whatever's in there has to be kind of central because you have to have 6 exit points. Like they didn't make it like most games would have like with tiles, you'd be like, oh, well, okay, like there's 1 exit to this room, now it's a dead end, or this has a left and right exit. Like back to game made it so you have to be able to leave every room. Mage had to really kind of get creative with the design space. So Mage draws 3 cards from your grimoire. Discard 1 card to your... Is that your Mage's discard pile? I'm guessing that's what that's supposed to be. As opposed to the library discard pile. Do I have I know we have them. Where are they? It doesn't even show it on here. I thought they had the icons on the sheet, and I thought maybe it might show it, but it doesn't. Maybe it says it on this side. Nope. Draw, draw, draw. I think it just means your discard pile. Alright. Yeah, indeed is for your memories pile, your discard pile. I did a quick pause, so I thought I'd look that up while we're doing that. Alright, our next red room is the summoner room. So target one room away to inflict damage. It's the same as the alchemy, so they're kind of like targeting, what it does is they're targeting the full room, so they're doing damage to everyone. Alright, so let's flip that over. So we've rebuilt this summoner's room, little statues with a triangle in there, and that is actually going to let us, for this room, summon a Negrito, and it activates. So that's kind of cool. So this is, I think, how the original Black Room War, had lots of their summons, was based on rooms, so it's a good mechanic to bring back. Like, here's, this room allows you to summon this guy. Now, if you're not playing that magic deck, or spell deck that has that summon, at least you have ways of summoning every single type of evocation. And our last red one is we have the arena, same thing. One room away, do some damage. And then we have the arena, which has just an explosion of magical spells. And that has Mage cast your next ready spell and not the quick spell. So lets you get a spell ahead of everybody else. It's very cool. Alright, then we have our green room, which our green room is going to let us place an instability one room away. So they kind of like grow out to the other areas. And then we'll flip that over. We rebuild our garden. Look at how pretty that is. Tables and fountains. And then we have anywhere placing instability, anywhere placing instability. So that now it's going to let you just reach out wherever and slowly build up everything quicker. Alright, then we have the Forge, which has the same ability, place one. I don't even mind that a lot of them have the same ones. That's fine. And then there are some expansions that have alternate tiles as well. So they might have like something that'll replace the Forge, or something that might replace the arena. Just give you different options as well. So there's the Forge with its ability. It says a mage may move one and then attack. Move one, and attack. So that's pretty cool, right? Move, attack. Move, attack. Not really sure how that links into a Forge necessarily, but it's kind of falling down. Then of course we have the treasure room, which you place in instability. And there's our rebuilt treasure room, which says Mage gains 2 points and then draw one event card. So yeah, rebuilding these is really cool because they're like, one lets you get quests, one lets you summon guys, one lets you draw events. So they're gonna let you do a lot of really interesting things when you rebuild them. So it's kind of in your best interest to rebuild rooms. So I'm sure you could probably win the game getting points other ways, but I think this really helps. Alright, so we have the Oracle room in blue. It says, Mage draws one random card from your memories. So hey, you get to recall a spell. So depending on how full your discard pile is, you could maybe even get a specific card you want very easily. There's the Oracle room rebuilt. Very neat with the blue and purple combination there. And there's its activation. Mage searches for one card in your grimoire or memory pile and draw it, and then shuffle your memory into your grimoire. So cool. So you have to find a specific card wherever you have it, draw it, but then you have to shuffle all your memory back in there. So now everything's going to be back to one deck. So it's going to be a little bit harder to get exactly what you want. Alright. And then we have the Abyss. It says Mage draws one random card from your memory, so the same thing. The Abyss was really neat when we get it done. You have this spiraling staircase going down. Its activation. Special, it says place all mages, including yourself, in their cells. So basically, someone fell in the abyss and walked into some spelling and died. I don't know how it affects everybody, unless it only affects whoever's in this room, which might be as well. Do we have a clarification on that? I don't, without looking into the book, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. Alright, then we have the last blue room. We have the mirrors room. Mage draws a random one from their grimoire or memory, or from their memories. Sorry, not their grimoire, from their memories. Like the mirrors room looks pretty cool. Different mirrors reflecting all over the place. And then we have special. Activate this room as if it were a different room other than the Black Rose room or the throne room. This is still a blue room, so it still activates as if it were a blue room, but you get those extra. You can activate any other one, which is pretty cool. Alright, we have some yellow rooms. We have the observatory. Mage may draw a quest. My stand keeps falling over. So there's our observatory with our telescope. And that's going to have special. All the other mages lose 1 power point. So, and it's only me, so it's not the black room, so it's not everybody else. Just the black room. Not really sure how the observatory makes everyone lose stuff, but we have the sanctuary, which lets you draw a quest. Let me flip that one over. There's another big fountain. There's big fountains and pools all over this lodge. Sanctuary says Mage may heal 3 or any model, target any model and heal 3. So that way you can heal your evocations as well. You could always opt to heal another player. Why would you heal another player? Get rid of some of their cubes that aren't yours, and then maybe you can attack them and deal the damage. Hey, this guy has 4 health left. I can heal 3 of it, and I can go 4 health damage, or I can do like a 5 health damage or 6 health, right? You can get more of your cubes on there. Biblioteca, you just draw a card, or a quest card, and there's our giant library. That's a neat library, right, where it goes down. Plus they're mages, so it's like they're using spells or maybe bring stuff up. And then we have Mage may draw 2 cards from the library. Just gives you some extra options. You don't have to discard them or anything like that. Oops, I grabbed the wrong one. And then our last set of rooms are the gray rooms, which have the sacrificial altar, which this one will just, at this room, summon a cadaver. So, while this is out, you can always summon cadavers. And then you can play this one to any model, inflict 2 damage. We have the Crypt, which will also let you summon a cadaver. So we're going to just summon a bunch of cadavers as long as these are around the board. There's the Crypt. And this one says, instead, in another room, summon a cadaver, and then another room, 1 away, summon a cadaver. So just summon them farther away. And then our last room is the cemetery, which also lets you summon a cadaver. And there's our rebuilt cemetery. And this one lets you anywhere summon a Colossus, which is pretty dang crazy. Alright, so that was all of our different rooms. So there is a big stack of them. Like I said, there are just some of the various expansions and add-ons will have more rooms you can swap stuff out with, so you can have some different options. Alright, then we are going to look at our event cards. So our event cards are broke up into 3 colors. These are some extra events on my stickers outside. But we have our first deck, which will be the Phase 1, which is the Crescent Moon. Phase 2, which is the Half Moon. And Phase 3, which is the Full Moon. So as the game goes on, you'll swap out these decks. And this works the same for watch the different mechanics of the game. So we're going to go ahead and look to see what each of these do. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more on these. Alright, so we're going to look at the first one. So there's hidden resources. So of course, if it shows a crown, that means whoever drew this gets the crown. It says when a mage is placed in a cell, that mage gains 1 point. And on the bottom, which I'm not going to look over too much, it's going to show on the bottom here. So when it enters play, the Black Rose room gets 2 points. It's going to show you what space it goes in, 1 of 3, and then when it leaves, how many points it gets. And I'm not going to reveal them. You can kind of see in the back the crescent if you need to kind of keep track of which one it is. We have a hard lesson. For each mage, in play order, lose 1 rose, then place themselves 1 space away from their own cell. So like this one's an instant. So this one comes in, does its thing, and then leaves immediately. And then some tell you like what phase they do stuff at. So we have the Puppeteer. When an evocation is defeated or removed, the Black Rose places 1 instability in the room the model was in. Dislocation. Each mage in play order may place their model in any space. Black Thorns. The Black Rose inflicts 2 damage to each mage. Gifts to Fools. Each mage in play order may draw 1 card from the library. Rebirth at Dawn. The Black Rose places 1 instability in each red and yellow room. Rebirth at Noon. The Rose places a instability in each blue and purple room. Rebirth at Sunset places a instability in a green and black room. And then finally we have Midnight Rebirth is going to place 2 in the Black Rose room. So of course the way these also work though is depending on where they drop in into the thing, they're going to stay out. They might be out for 1, 2, 3 turns depending on what spot they drop into, what else comes after them, if it pushes them or not. Because like this one drops in the middle, but if the next card you get drops in the 3rd slot, then this one isn't going to move. Next card drops in the 1st slot, it's not going to move anything if there was nothing else around it. So this might could potentially stay out for 2 or 3 turns. Because you could drop something in the back one, you stay out, next turn, that's 2 turns it's out. 3rd turn, if you drop something in the first one, that's 3 turns it's going to stay out. Because yeah, there's nothing pushing it over to the next one. I think unless everything moves regardless. Even if everything moves regardless, it's going to stay out for a bare minimum of 2 turns, probably. Which should definitely be a pain. And then as you get like some expansions and promos and stuff like that, do add other event cards. So you can always add more cards to your deck. To make each thing a little bit more interesting. Because again, it doesn't matter. You can have 40 cards in this deck. It just means you have 40 different options versus having 12. But the deck is going to switch out whenever it gets to that where PowerPoint is. So at some point you're never going to quit anyhow. So if you have more cards, it just means you might not recycle through the deck as quick. Alright, then we're going to hop into the middle ones. So we'll drop these down. These are going to be a little bit more challenging for your mages. So Wave of Fatigue. Each mage in play order discards 1 card from their hand. If a mage cannot discard any cards, they lose a power point. Tribute of the Command. At the start of the action phase, in play order, each mage may suffer 1 damage from the Black Rose. If they do, choose an evocation, any evocation, the evocation activates under their control. So cool. So basically it's like, if that thing's somewhere near you, or near somebody else, and you think it might be worth activating to either get it away from you or attack somebody else, yeah, you might take a point of damage. But if it's not going to help you at all, you might not. Or maybe you can't afford the health. We have Vision. Each mage and player draws 1 quest from the 3rd moon deck. So this is interesting because this is why you have to have all the decks kind of out, because it's going to have you draw from a deck that doesn't exist yet. Renovations. Each mage and player may give 1 of its trophies to the Black Rose. If they do, that mage places 2 instabilities anywhere. So again, is it worth giving up that point? Your trophy points for 2 instabilities might if you can finish off something. Especially maybe being the last player, because someone would be like, I'm going to put 2 here, I'm going to put 2 here, and you're the 4th player, you're like, I can finish off this room. Battle. When the mage activates in a red room, the Black Rose gains a point. So you have a series of these. Growth. When a mage activates in green, they gain a point. Knowledge, when it activates in the yellow, they gain a point. Abandonment, when they activate in the gray, they gain a point. Clairvoyance activates in the blue room, they gain a point. And Instinct, when they act in the purple room, they gain a point. Alright, now we're going to look at the full moon, the third phase. We have Remembrance. Draw one event from the first moon deck. Draw one event from the second moon deck. So this is going to add some extra triggers. So it's kind of neat, again, even after you went to a new phase, you can't be like, oh, we finished phase 1, put all those back in the box. Nope, you gotta keep them out ready to go. Assault. When a mage inflicts damage with a combat spell, they inflict +1 damage. Power Peaking. At the start of the action phase, in play order, each mage may lose 2 points. If they do, that mage draws 1 card from the Forgotten Spell deck. Nice. You really need one. Immortals. Heal all damage on each evocation. Allow evocations to not suffer damage. Now this does come in as a third point, so this is probably the last one round. Pledge. The Black Rose inflicts 3 damage to each mage. Domination. When the mage is defeated, their trophy is obtained by the Black Rose instead of whoever defeated the mage. Whoa. The Black Mage converts up to 4 health to each mage. The Black Mage inflicts 2 damage to each mage who did not convert any due to this effect. Ooh, dang it. Manipulating the past. Each mage discards 1 solved quest. If a mage does not have any solved quests, they lose 3 points. Infinite Knowledge. When a mage resolves a quest, that mage gains 2 points and gains Black Rose gains 1 rose. And then finally we have False Mercy. Heal all damage to each mage except damage from the Black Rose. Black Rose makes 2 damage to each mage without any damage on their mage sheets. Cool. Just gonna hit everybody. Alright, then we have another little minor set here of 3 each. I believe these were stretch goals. Like the ones were added after the fact. But they are not exclusive. They are part of the core set. Everyone will get them. But I think they're ones that were added on later after the fact. So you have Black Overload. So you have the Crescent one, first phase. When a mage is placed at least 1 instability, the Rose places 1 instability in the same room. So I think these ones are a little bit more powerful. So if you don't want to add them, you don't have to. That's why they also kept them later on. The Awakening, the Black Rose places 5 instability in the Black Rose room, which that is gained quite a bit. I'm gonna look at the Black Rose room here really quick if I can figure out where I put it. That's the cemetery, yeah. So, yeah, like starting off, like it has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 10 spaces, so that would already, like, just 1 event card could pop up, like, turn 1, right? And also now it's already half done. Which means you only get to use it half as many times. Then the third one, we have Undead Army. Each mage in player summons a cadaver in their space from themselves. So that's kind of fun. Then for the half moon ones, we have Revolt of the Servants. Each mage in player order suffers damage from the rose equal to the sum of the attack values of their own evocations. If any mage does not own any evocations, they lose 1 rose. Reward the Slothful. Each mage who has no completed quests gain 1 point. And then the last one here is Illness. The rose places 2 instability in each room where there is at least 1 mage, and then each mage is placed in their own cell. Oh, that sucks. Then for the third phase, we have Only War. After a mage resolves a Clairvoyance or defense protection spell effect, that mage suffers 2 damage from the Black Rose. So penalizing you for not attacking. Gold of the King. Each mage who owns the crown gains, or the mage who owns the crown gains 2 points. And then the last one is Only Peace. After a mage resolves a combat or trap spell, suffers 1 damage from the Black Rose. So that's kind of fun. Again, these are a little bit more, I think, a little bit more damaging or challenging than the original ones were. But yeah, that just actually makes it more fun. Again, as you get more expansions and other stuff. Now there are some that are tied specifically probably maybe 2, like, maybe there's avatar ones, which are a different entire thing altogether. There might be some that are maybe tied to certain rooms or different evocations, other things that might be in the game. But yeah, they are a couple of sets that add a few more, or some promo cards, especially promo cards, which we'll do a video on that later, that add some more in there. And just, hey, more cards that get added in here definitely are going to make this more fun, because then you get more options and different stuff. There's only so many cards, and again, you don't want to always see the same cards over and over. So, like, instead of having, like, again, like 12, if you have, let's say, 20, you know, even these 8 extra cards, is just, in each deck, is just going to be like, hey, I play this game one time, I saw these 6 cards. The next time you play, you might only see these 6, depending on how fast the rooms get done. Alright, we're going to jump into our quests. So the quests are also broken up by their 3 different deck types. Just go ahead and hop into what those look like. So, quests are kind of like the Jinx spells you sort of saw in the other video. To an extent, I mean, with that little cubes on there. So it's going to say, the name is Shattered Illusion. It says, after resolve a blue room effect, place 1 cube on this card. If you do it, reveal this card. So this card, your quests stay face down. You can only have so many quests, so each mage has so many. Like, during your turn, you could draw 5 or 6 or whatever, but by the end or the beginning, I forgot when the cleanup step happens. Let me check yeah, during the Black Road, so at the beginning, first part of your next turn, you'll end up having to discard down, so you gotta kind of decide what you want. Yeah, some might have just a one thing. Do this, solve the quest. Other ones have a multi-step, so here you have to do this multiple times. But also keep in mind that as you have too many of these, they're taken away from your cubes, which are also used for doing damage, clearing Jinx spells, placing instability cubes out. So it's like that. It's a limited resource. But once you do solve this, you get to place in a location 1 place away from you. You get to place an evocation or instability, and then you get to do it again. So you might also, maybe decide, which blue room do you want to be in, where you can have the best chance of doing this the second time. And then if you do scoreless, you get a point at the end. Alright, so let's go ahead and run through these. So we have Guardian Wisdom. So these are all going to be very kind of the same thing, solving thing. Resolve a quest in the colored room. Place a cube on the card. Second cube gets you an ability. Mage, if you don't have any damage on your mage sheet, draw 2 cards from your grimoire. Otherwise, heal for 3. And then you can place an instability at your location. Acquired Wealth. Resolve a green effect. You get to place an instability. Field Test. After resolve a red effect, do this, and then a model 2 space away, inflict 2 damage, in placing instability. Reset the limbs, so in a purple room, and then you get the crown, and then you get placing instability. Dominate Fear in the gray room. Evocation, the target undead activates under your control. So you can target any evocation, but it has to be the target undead. So that's being undead. Then you get a place in evocation. But like, again, the gray rooms are summoning cadavers a lot. So it's going to be, most likely going to be a undead out somewhere. Summoner Wizard. Reveal this card after resolve the effect with the summon keyword. Place 1 instability on this card. So here you have to summon a bunch of things. So this, again, depending on what deck you have, where you are in location, and like you're near like the rooms that have the evocation, or the like cadavers or whatever, maybe, or like later you flipped over the one red one, like you summon a Nigiro, or maybe your mage personal spell has it. Like, right, depending on how you're playing, this might be easier or harder for you. Evocation, whenever your evocation activates, and then placing instability. Warrior Wizard, reveal the spell to resolve a combat spell. And then your evocation says, remove target with a health value of 3 or less, and then place a evocation. So this lets you get rid of a evocation somewhere around the field, or the lodge. Contingent Mage. Reveal after you resolve a contingency spell. Your mage, search one card from your grimoire, add that card to your hand, shuffle your grimoire. The channeling instability. After resolving an effect, it puts you lose one instability. Place a cube on this card. So, 2 space away, convert 2 instability, and then place 1. Again, this is a really cool effect. You have to do 4 instability effects. It has to be an effect, so I don't think it's the middle of the spell card or the mage card that lets you do it. It has to be an actual effect. Like, these are all effects, so you could complete other quests. But again, it could basically take up 3 of your cubes for a while. We have Conspirator Mage. It's kind of interesting if somebody started putting images on them. After resolve the effect of one of your trap spells, just as it doesn't have the extra thing. You just do this and then it happens. It says the model inflict 2 damage and then place a cube. And then the other one we have is Guardian Mage. After resolve one of your protection spells, you draw 1 card from the library. Yeah, so we got, this has a lot more of the earlier quests have a lot more place cubes, do this, do this, do this. They don't have a lot of instant effects because it's the early ones. Then we have this second phase. So I think now we're going to kind of get like a mixture of the 2 of them. So we have Illusionary Moon. After resolve the Mirror Room effect, any mage, you may place your mage in target mage's room. If you do, place the target in a room of your choice. You can move yourself to their room and then move them somewhere else. So this is kind of fun because there's going to be specific rooms. Resolve the Biblioteca. Mage draws 2 cards from the library. The Wise Moon. We have the Generous Moon, resolve the garden effect. It's especially the green room, and it has to be the garden. So it's there. So this is, select any room, convert 1, and then convert to 2. The Powerful Moon, resolve the arena effect. Any model, place a target in the arena room, inflict 2 damage. Persuasive Moon, resolve the armory. Special, inflict 1 damage to each model in the lodge. Mortal Moon, resolve the cemetery. Mage, if you do not have any damage on your mage sheet, gain 1 point. Heal all damage on your mage sheet. Indigo Star, resolve a combat or contingency spell while you are in the Oracle Room. Shuffle your memories into your grimoire, then draw 3 cards from your grimoire. The Citrine Star, resolve a combat or contingency while in the observatory. Mage, draw 2 cards from your grimoire. The Emerald Star, resolve a combat or contingency in the forge. Draw a quest. Crimson Star, resolve a combat or contingency in the alchemical laboratory. Your mage can draw 1 event. If you do, inflict 3 damage to a target model 3 spaces away. Purple Star, combat or contingency in the pleasures room. Mage, if you may draw 1 event. If you do, gain 2 rows. Cinder Star, resolve a combat or contingency in the crypt. Summon a Colossus, it activates. Alright, then we're going to get some. I'm going to drop these down. We're getting a bunch on here. Alright, let me get some of these. So, Invisible Sun, reveal this card. After resolving an effect, to convert or places instability in the blue room, place 1 on this card. So we're going to have a bunch of effects like these for each different colored room. So Mage, draw 2 cards from the library. So either convert or place instability in the yellow room. We have the Golden Sun. Complete 1 of your quests. So it's going to be good, because if you know you have this, I think like purposely like, oh, I draw a quest card. It's like a really, oh, this is going to be hard going to do. Or something like this where, like, again, maybe another one of these or something where you have to, like, do a specific room, right? Right? You might just be like, hey, I can just hang on to this one and just complete both at the same time. Vital Sun. So, in a green room, convert or place instability in a green room. Any room, place 2 and then convert 2. The Bloody Sun. Instability in a red room. Any model converts 3 health. Enigmatic Sun, any convert or place instability in a purple room. Convert 1, convert 1, convert 1. And then the last one for this set is the Extinct Sun. Reveal this card after resolving effect, converts or places it in the gray room. Summon your cadaver, it activates, and summon your cadaver, it activates. Cool. What's also sort of unique to notice is we have different banger colors. So we have bronze for that, we have silver for the middle ones, and then when we get to the third moon, we kind of have like a gold or an orange sheen. So it's also just a quick way to tell what level they are. Alright, so then we have, this is kind of neat. So we had ones based on suns. These ones are kind of like, hey, this is what type of mage you want to be, right? And now there are some that have, yeah, so we'll see. So this side you can kind of like, you can quest to become a pyromancer. It says, after resolving effect of one of your spells that have either the flame element or the profane symbol on your active side of your revealed spells. After resolve the effect of one of your spells and you have 3 of either of those symbols on the active sides of your revealed spells. So after resolving effect on a spell, and as long as you have a total of them, you become a pyromancer. Draw 1 card from the Forgotten deck. If you want to be a geomancer, have 3 fire and or earth symbols. You get a place instability 3 times. Hydromancer, resolve an effect with either water or magic symbols. You get a heal 1. Aeromancer, resolve air and or is it light? I forgot what that one was called. It's not the profane. Profane's evil. I think it's light or good. Angelic maybe. Mage, one of your exhausted action tokens becomes available. Nice, get an extra action for the turn. Surge, magic and or the magic symbol. Now I want to look it up so I can actually call it what it's supposed to be, if I can find it. Sacred. Profane and sacred. So it's sacred. Choose any model or yourself and heal 5 damage. Summoner, after resolve one of your spells, you have either 3 water and or profane. Evocation, target activates under your control. If there are no activations in the log, summon a Negrito and it activates. Magus, magic and air. Draw 3 cards from your grimoire. So cool. So that's a neat little bunch of things. If you play certain spells where the symbols kind of make a difference. Alright, then we have Surrender of Power. After resolve a Black Rose Room effect. Any model give a forgotten spell in your hand to the target. Target adds a card to their hand. If you do, solve this quest. So are you willing to give a forgotten spell for 4 points? That's the difference, right? Collective Sacrifice. Reveal this card after you inflict or heal 1 point of damage from evocation. Place an instability, or place a cube on this card. You solve it. Special, the rogue loses 3 points, and target mage loses 2 points. Master of Death. Reveal this card after a mage who has at least 1 of your damage on their mage sheet is defeated. Place a cube on this card. Special, keep the 3 mages and gain 1 trophy from each of them. The Magic Steam. After resolving the effect of 1 of your spells, if you have 3 fire and or water, reveal this. Mage, choose 1 of your revealed spells with water or fire or water symbols on its active side. Add to your hand, and then you can convert 1. So basically, if you've already used it, now you get to re-add it back to your hand. Earth Tempest. So water, earth, and air. Lets you do the same thing if you have at least a revealed spell with earth or air. On its active side, return to your hand. Then here, 2 spaces away, you can inflict 2 damage. Holy Corruption. If you have spells with at least 3 sacred or profane, choose 1 of your revealed spells with sacred or profane. On its active side, return to your hand. And up to 2 spaces away, you can convert to 2 damage. Electric Ruby. After resolve effects of a red or blue room, place 1 cube on this card. If you solve it, inflict 2 damage or place 2 instability. Emerald Amethyst. So after resolve effects of a green or purple room, place a cube, and then summon a non-forgotten evocation of your choice that activates. This is also really fun too, because again, with the whole buying more expansions or add-ons and stuff like that, just gets you more things to summon with it. Same thing every time they mention like a ability, like besides Kadabra or Colossus, it's only that specific character. But it's just summoning Undead, that's a Kadabra or Colossus, but there might be an expansion that has another third or fourth one, so it gives you more options, which is always cool. Cinder and Gold, after receive, resolve the effect of a yellow or black room, convert 2 health, and then convert 2 instability. Oh, so we did actually, just a note here, I guess I missed this. So these 3 were red, and then we jumped back into the extra stretch goal ones. So we had the 3 corruption ones, which had, or the 3, have different symbol ones were that, and these last 3 with different rooms were new ones. Then we have 3 more gold ones. Power Catalyst. Reveal this card after you inflict at least 1 damage. Place a card. Target Mage can inflict 4 more damage. Deep Knowledge. After resolving contingency spell, while you are in the Black Rose, place 1 cube on this card. Draw 3 forgotten spells. Draw 1 of those, discard the others. And then we have Elementalist. Resolve a spell with fire, earth, water, and air. Or air. Place a spell on this effect. And then 0 place 4 instability. So yeah, so really cool effects there. So those are all of our different quests we can do. And again, there's maybe a couple expansions and add-ons, add a few more quests. Yeah, to make the game very interesting. Just gives you something else to do other than just being like, I'm just attacking you, targeting you. That's the whole thing that makes this game interesting. So it's not just, I'm attacking, trying to defeat this guy, and I have to move around the board to defeat them. There's other things to do. Getting the different rooms to activate effects, activating instabilities. Trying to resolve some of these quests to gain extra points that way. So it's the idea of getting the point race, but, there's multiple ways to do it. Defeating guys gets you points. Rebuilding rooms gets you points. Completing quests gets you points. So everyone can kind of do what a little bit they need to do. Mix and match between. Some might focus on one more than the other. Some might be like, I don't care about quests. I'm not doing them. I'm just going to attack guys and do rebuilding rooms. Someone might be like, I'm not worried about attacking. I'm playing a pacifist type class. We literally have a spell group for that. So it's really neat that there's so many different ways to do stuff. Alright, so then the last thing we have left for the core box is we have the Possessed. This is the Avatar. Not to be confused with Aang the Avatar, The Last Airbender, or the movie of the Navis. An Avatar is a new mode they added for Black Rose Wars Rebirth, which lets you basically take control of a different minion or character that adds into the game, so you can either play this as solo, so if you don't have anybody else to play with, you can add this in to give you a challenge. That way you have, hey, I have someone to attack, so it gives you another miniature that's on the board to attack with. Or you can add it into a multiplayer game to give yourselves or your team maybe someone to maybe co-op against, so now you're co-oping against the Avatar and the Black Rose room, and working with each other. You can still target each other if you want. Maybe sometimes you might be like, hey dude, I'm gonna do 3 damage, dude, because I did get this or that. And you might need to do some of that. There could be some traitorly backstabbing stuff, kind of like semi-co-op. Or you could go full co-op and just work on defeating the Avatar, but that might get a little bit too easy. But you can always drop in multiple Avatars if that's the case. Like a 2v2 game, be kind of interesting. Or they might actually end up attacking each other, who knows. But this is a really neat thing. One thing I also mentioned, like the core set here, though, is that because the Possessed here uses one of the miniatures from the set. The book says if you have only the core set, you only have 4 miniatures. So this takes up one of them, so basically you can play a 3-player game versus the 4th player as the miniature. if you've bought the 5-6 player expansion, or if you have any other expansion. You could then play a 4-player game, and if you have at least one expansion with another mage, you could use that mage's miniature. Alternatively, if you absolutely want to, you could grab any other character and use them. They just use the black bases as well. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look at it. So the avatar here has a couple of different things. I'm not going to go over the full avatar-y rules for every little part, but he has his health, his damage, his speed, much like everything else. He's called the Possessed. So on the bottom down here are going to be his activations. So he's going to have a special set of deck cards with a little symbol on it for the moons for each phase, which will swap out as the game goes on. And then on each card, it's going to tell you what they do. So it's going to have different things like what his activation is, what he has for draw effects, different stuff like that. But then some of them are going to have, like this one here, for example, has the number 2. So if it has the number 2 on it, he's going to try and do the number 2 ability. And that's kind of how that works. I'm going to flip to the avatar part in the book here. So yeah, a lot of their stuff does the same thing. As the things change, they change their own different stuff, things like that. I'm going to zoom back out here for a second. So we're going to look at just a quick thing here for them. So they will have Black Rose phase, Study phase, and Preparation phase. Normally resolve the avatar has nothing else, otherwise indicated somewhere else. So they basically skip all of them. Then you're in Activation phase, performs their activation like any other mage. An avatar activates a mage to the right, reveals the top card of the avatar command deck. These little cards we just saw here. And then they resolve the card effect on the action effects of the card one at a time from top to bottom. When all the effects are resolved, the avatar action activates. So it's basically like saying if you play this card, he did a physical action. And then the next one, he did a spell action. It's just saying what type of action he does in case there's a mage somewhere else has an ability that stops or resolves from something like that. During each activation, the avatar activates, revealing a single command card and ends their activation. They activate again after all mages, following the player to resolve another single command until they have resolved the number of command cards indicated for the difficulty level. So 3 or 4, depending on how many. They activate even if all of the mages have no actions left to perform. So then they have quests. Avatars do not draw quest cards like mages do. The avatar may only reveal resolved quests through effects. When an avatar resolves a quest, they gain the power point provided by the card, not resolve any of its effects. So they say auto do it, is basically what happens. And then they have their own little dashboard, which they put all their different stuff and all that thing. Their own little tiny cell down here, so if they ever get defeated, they go back to their card. Very simple stuff like that. So we're just going to take a layout of their cards here. So, you have not specified the subject of each name. In fact, I always have the Possessed gets plus, it's always an avatar's name. So yeah, it's just going to tell you how to do each one of these different things. And they'll have all the different symbols on each one. Like if it's a spell card, it's going to add instability in there like it would if you played a spell card with instability. Some of them might have like, they do a protection spell, or they have, action, spell first, then action. So they do it in different ways. So they do have on the back, though, is they have these symbols. So like F, on there it says activate trap or spell protection. Indicates it has an active trap or spell. So like normally when you activate a card, you put one of the tokens on there, right? And this is just telling you that it's instead going to activate it, and then it's got a little symbol in there saying how it activates. So that way you don't have to flip it over and keep trying to remember. So if it has a trap card on the top of its deck, it's going to, or you activate it, it's going to say, if you play a combat spell to activate, or if you damage it, it does it. So pretty simple there. And that's a priority on how it does its different spells. And then they have some evocation phase. The avatar Evocation of Avatar activates for a human-controlled mage, but they'll always do so in order of 1, 2, and 3. Follow instruction on the evocation AI to the right. So they just have a thing that's going to kind of look at them. Like, can you attack a mage by moving or staying where it's at? Yes. It can do it. It's going to attack is a target the closest mage. It's going to attack that mage. Target the most health, it'll attack that guy first. Target with the most health and the rose is going to attack that guy. And it's just going to kind of go for the strongest guys. Or it's going to go after an evocation. If there's no mage where it's at, then it's going to start attacking the mage. So, Avatar, warning, Avatar additional rules. Some rules of the game effect are slightly different than the way they do a mage. Avatars and event cards. Avatar knows all effects of event cards that are related or target to other mages. So the Avatar is not a mage, for the purpose of mage stuff. The Avatar never takes damage from the Black Rose. And Avatar assign evocations. The Avatar can have evocations assigned, such as the Umbra, apply their side effects, but if they deal Black Rose damage, the Avatar does not suffer it. So very cool there. Then there's a whole big thing on here about how all this stuff activates, so that's different priority. So it's going to show, like, who it attacks and all this stuff like that. And then it's still domination. If possessed, has to activate when it is in a cell. He does not activate, instead he places himself in the Black Rose room. That's just his ability on his cards. Domination just means, if he has to activate in a cell, he just auto goes to the Black Rose room. So then here's just kind of an example of combat. You're doing some different stuff there as well. So like here he's going to activate. He's going to target someone with the most roses, so he's going to target that guy. If they both have the same roses, and the same number of trophies, then he's going to attack whoever has the crown. So he's going to just kind of decide that way. Cool. So let's go ahead and look at their cards and see what they do. Alright, so we have their command cards here, and there's the back of the card. And there are other avatars and other expansions that add actual new miniatures, and they have their own complete different set of rules and all that stuff. Now on top, I'll just show you a little symbol there. So you have release energy, it says action. Physical action moves towards the Black Rose. Spell. If the card is in a room with the Black Rose, it places 2 instability in a 0. So this one's just trying to restore the Black Rose room. Tales of Destruction. Move towards a red room. Activates in a target room without generating any effect. If it does, it solves 1 quest of the current moon. So what it means by activates without generating an effect, I'm just going to grab a random room here, not necessarily a red room, but so if it ends up being in this room, for example, it's going to activate the room. So if it's just in a regular room, it's not going to matter. It's going to activate this effect, nothing's going to happen, it's going to just solve a quest. But if the room is rebuilt, it can only activate it if it's spaced up. So if it gets, the room is spaced down, it can't activate, therefore it doesn't solve a quest. So yeah, if it's in a destroyed room, it's going to do this every 100% of the time. But if it's in a rebuilt room, it might only do it if the room's not activated. Book of Nature. Move towards the gray room. Activates target room without generating any effect. If it does, summon a cadaver. In 0 room, if it summons a cadaver, summon a cadaver in a room of 0. Interesting. Energy of the Rose. Heals 2 health. If it did not heal any due to this effect, gains 1 rose and draws an extra card. Targets a mage. So it's targeting someone else and it's trying to heal them. Protection. This mage ignores 3 damage. Places 1 instability in a room, 0 space away for each ignored damage due to this effect. Corrupt Ray. has so this does priority 2, flicks 2 damage and converts 2, and then it moves 1. So we didn't look at what these actually do. So if you have the first one, it says targets a mage with the most damage, and then it looks minus a room and then plus a rose. So this is gonna first go after whoever's closest. So if we open the book back up, it kind of goes through each one of these a little bit more. So avatar chooses among the targetable models. Plus the mage with the most health. If tied, the mage in the nearest room. If tied, the mage with the most rose. If tied, choice goes to the crown. Second one instead nearest room. Then goes after the rose, then the trophies. The third one chooses targetable rooms. Room with the most mages inside, and then the room with the most models inside, and then the most instability. Yeah, so one is going to target a guy. It's going to target the mage with the most health, or the most damage. Then it's going to target the closest room. And the other one's going to target room first. Mages in the room, and then, yeah, one will just target straight up room. So 3 is kind of devastating because it hits everything. So, if we get to a 1 here, we have 3. We have Incendiary Ball. Targets room inflicts 3 damage, and then draws another card. You'll notice they have all the different elements and all that stuff, too. So, Frost Spear does activation 1 and then moves towards a mage. Or spelled move activation 1, inflict 3 damage, removes 1 target. The target removes 1 of their E locations with 3 or less health. Revenge of the Thorn, 2, move towards a mage. 2, inflict 1 damage, convert 2 damage. Target loses 1 rose for each damage that converted due to this effect. And as a defense on there, target the mage, which inflicts that damage, obtains 1 of their targets. So if we look on the back here, it's just going to have a picture of a broken shield. So if it takes damage, that's how it activates. Unstable Thorns inflicts damage to each mage. Got a card. And then we have Tomb Reinforcements. Targets a Black Rose room, summon a Colossus in that room from 0 from the room. And then gains a thing. And then activate the Colossus of the... A Colossus of the Black Rose activates. So crazy. Alright, then if we look at the second phase, do a little bit more there. We have Release Spores, move towards the Black Room. If the target in the room is the Black Room, place 2 instability. If the target is the Black Room, converts 1 instability and then draws a card. Conspirator Study, move towards a Purple Room. Activate the room without generating effects. Draws and solves a quest of the current moon. Technomancy Book. Moves towards a green room. Targets room without generating any effect. Does summon a cadaver. And then it can summon another cadaver. Sap of the Black Rose. Heals up to 2 health. Gains 1 rose for each health not healed to this effect. Then Protection is target mage which inflicted damage. Ignores 3 damage on itself, inflicts 1 damage for each damage ignored. Corrupt Spear does priority 1, inflicts 2 damage, converts 1, and then it gets to move towards the blue room. Blaze 3, inflicts 3 damage, place 1 instability. Freeze Soil 2, move towards a mage. 2, inflict 2 damage. The target discards 2 cards from their hand. The target loses 1 point for each card not discarded. Revenge of the Embodied does a 2 and moves towards a mage. And then its spell is it moves, does 2, inflicts 2, and converts 2. And then Protection. Target mage attacks the attack spell, ignores this spell, and inflicts 2 damage. The Explosion of Thorns inflicts 1 damage to every mage. And then we have Infernal Reinforcement, summon a cadaver to the Black Rose, summon a cadaver to the Black Rose, and it gains that, and then the cadaver gets to activate. And then our third moon is we have Tapping of the Black Rose. Move towards the Black Rose, activate the room without generating effect. If it does, gains 2 rose and draws a card. Research on Fire, moves towards the red room, activates target room without an effect, draws themselves a quest. Manuscripts on Deception, move towards the blue room, target mage, discards 2 cards from their hand and draw a card. Explosion of the Dark Petals, inflict 2 damage to each model 2 spaces from the target. And then defenses ignores 2 damage, inflicts 2 damage on each model 1 space away. Dark Blade does 3, and then inflicts 1 and converts 1, so 3 targets a room. And then it says, moves towards a green room. We have Dark Fire, does 3 damage, places 1 instability, and draws a card. Thorns of Frost does a 2 and moves towards a mage. Spell does a 2, inflicts 2 damage. If the target discards 2 cards from their hand. For each card discarded to this effect, that card removes 1 of their evocations with 3 value or less. Dark Hammer, 2 and moves towards the target. Does 2, inflicts 2 damage, converts 1 damage. The target loses 1 point for each damage not converted. Protection, target mage. Casts a spell, inflicts 2 and converts 2. Poison Thorns converts 2 damage on each mage. And then finally we have Abysmal Reinforcement, summon a Colossus to the black room. And then it gets to activate. So cool. Some of those are very similar to things. I think some of the later, some of the other avatars may have just had the same names over and over, which is always a fine thing to do as well. But even if they don't, they have different names for every one. It's pretty cool. Even if they have similar effects, having to come up with a different name for every card is pretty cool. Alright, then the last thing we have is we have special event cards. So this one is specifically tied to the Possessed for the command cards. The event cards are just avatar event cards. This is the events that the avatar gets to draw. And they get to use. So they do have that slightly different back on there. So like here's our regular one. It's all bright and shiny. Those ones have a big border on them. So if we look at the difference, you can tell which ones are the avatars. So they get their own little event cards that they get to draw and play. So we'll see what they are. So there's only a handful of each one. And it says avatar on there. So Crown of Thorns. The mage that owns a crown gauges their own. Black Rose inflicts 2 damage to the mage that owns that crown. Remnants of Magic. Avatar for the avatars in the red, yellow, or blue room. The rose places 2 instability away from that avatar. Thorny Corruption. Each time a mage places at least 2 instability to do a single effect, the rose converts 1 of those thorns. Traces of texture. The avatar is in a green, black, or purple room, places 2 instability in that room. And then the last one for this set, we have Divinatory Secrets. Mage activates in a yellow or gray room, they gain 1 rose. Mage inflicts 1 damage to each mage activated in those rooms. So just doing a quick check. Yeah, so you replace the actual event deck with just these events. So that really then makes it more like you're fighting this guy versus having the other events that kind of target everybody. Because all of these pretty much just target you. Alright, so second phase, we have Revolt of the Servants. Each mage in player order chooses 1 rose, removes 1 of their evocations. We have Illness. The rose converts 1 damage on each mage with 1 sheet. Lose 1 damage to the black rose to their mage sheet. Magic of the Rose. If the avatar is 1 space, you lose 1 space from the black rose room. The black rose places 2 instability on that room. Singing Victor again. Each mage with less points than the black rose gains 1. Each mage with more loses 1. And then Letters of Destruction. If the mage activates in a green or red room, they gain 1 rose. Rose inflicts 1 damage to each mage that activates there. And then if we jump into the third one, we have Conspiracy Book. It says if a mage activates in a purple or blue room, they gain a rose. Black rose inflicts 1 damage to each mage that activates there. Cursed Trophy. Each mage receives 1 trophy of the black rose loses a rose. Pledge. The black rose inflicts 2 damage for each 1 mage from the avatar. Sorrow. Each mage receives 1 damage of the black rose loses a point. And then the last one is Manipulating the Past. Each mage discards 1 solved quest. Cool. So that's kind of neat that you have to mix the other ones. The only downside is that none of the other avatars come with like new avatar cards that I've seen. So it's like just one little deck. So again, this might, like I just said, all the other games are so many cards you might not see them. This, because there's so few avatar cards, you're gonna keep seeing the same ones over and over. I would imagine you could opt to mix them into the deck so they pop up if you want a little bit mixed difficulty. You knowing avatar ones coming up, but that's entirely up to you. Alright, so the last thing I just wanted to look at really quick was layouts for the avatar. Scooch this up really quick. So we have large layouts here. So if you are playing a 2-player game, this isn't just for the avatar, this is just in general. This is kind of showing how you lay out the maps of the black rose there. There's the throne room, the cells on the other side. Otherwise, I think all the rest are randomly placed. You can specifically place them like this if you want. It's just kind of trying to show how the layouts go. And then if you're playing a 3-player game, here's another way to set it up just so it's a little bit even. So I think the base game, when we jump back into the original part, where it's showing the original map, this is if you're playing a 4-player game. So just showing different ways to kind of set it up if you're playing the other modes. Alright, so that's what we have for Black Rose Rebirth, the core box set. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out the parts 1 and part 2 if you haven't for some reason. Then check out all the expansions and add-ons we'll do. We'll look over the other add-ons from this, the Kickstarter stuff, some promo stuff we have, as well as some crossovers with some of the other games from this awesome world. See you guys later. Bye.